Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Welcome in Wolf Tank. I am your werewolf. Tonight, we're interviewing a writer for the first time, actually, an indie writer. Can I call you that?
Mm-hmm.
We're interviewing DracoNightmare as a way to promote his book called, let's see, Star Warden. Once upon a time in a world far, far away, darkness reigns and innocence suffer. One knight dares to challenge the forces of evil. That knight is Sir Samuel Bailey. He is a Star Warrior armed with a holy sword, Dawnbringer, a ray gun, rocket pack, and a heroic heart. He journeys the world with Princess Kaguya on his quest to end the tyranny of the Dark Lord Deimos and restore all that is good and right. Deimos will stop at nothing to keep his iron grip on the planet. In his latest effort to crush resistance, he conjures a curse of eternal night. During the Star Warden's adventure to end this curse, he encounters dangerous monsters and malicious machines. But can he? Oh shit! Sorry, got distracted. Okay. During the dark, during the Star Wars adventure to end his curse, he encounters dangerous monsters and malicious machines. But can he overcome the greatest enemies of all? His own fear. It's a straightforward tale of high adventure, action, and romance with the spirit of a Saturday morning cartoon. Come and enter a fantastical world of heroism, true love, and fate in a war of good versus evil. We're also joined together with the Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings YouTube viewers and fellow Final Fantasy fans, this is Final Fantasy Fan 012 here and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. And today we are interviewing DracoNightmare with us as a way to promote his book Star Warden. And as from the synopsis that Wolf just gave, that actually sounds really good.
Wait till you read it.
Makes you want to buy it, doesn't it? I mean, after I read that song, I was like, man, take my money. Take my money. Take my
Excellent.
money.
I might have to look
Can't
into
you
that
hear me?
eventually.
I want you to take my money.
I'll gladly take your money.
I have linked the Amazon link. Yeah, I'm linking his Amazon whatever you want to call that to his book. So if you guys are interested in checking out his book, it's in the description of this stream currently. But let me shut the fuck up now so that he can talk about his book. So Draco Nightmare, by the way, everybody, his name is Draco Nightmare, or in the case of what is said on the book, I don't want to say his name just for Emily's sake and incognito's sake. I'm gonna shut up now, and Draco Nightmare, you go ahead and talk about your book.
Ah. Well, as it said in the synopsis, Star Warden is a Saturday morning cartoon in prose. And it is a story of resilience, a story of heroism. And it's also and more importantly, it is an isekai story. Yeah. Yes. For you see, I originally made this book based on two inspirations. One, I wanted to make my own Saturday morning cartoon, but with no broadcast standards and practices to get in my way, BSMP, which are known for their notorious bad censorship back in the 80s and 90s. The other inspiration is I wanted to make a good isekai because most of the mainstream isekai we get from Japan is hit or miss, more miss than hit, and very, very predictable. So I moved both of those ideas into this product here. What you have here is Sir Samuel Bailey. He's from Earth, our modern our similar to our modern day Earth, but he travels to the world to an alien world known as Ethereum, filled with it is basically a land of floating islands, home to fantastical creatures such as minotaurs and elves and fairies. Reads all that, but here's the rub. He didn't just get there. He didn't just get there. It's like, okay, everything's hunky dory. Let's go fight the Demon King. No. For you see, and I don't count this as a spoiler since you're gonna get this in chapter two. The Ooh, and sorry, sorry, but basically, when he gets there, he finds the world in turmoil. It has been conquered. It has been conquered by the Demon King, or in this case, the Dark Lord Deimos, and he is securing his rule across the planet. The Star Warden is the Star Warden is the underdog in this fight. Yes, he is very he's actually very powerful. He's got a lot of good equipment. He's got a holy sword. He's got a holy sword with him, and he can basically unleash hell on all the enemies against his way. But it's not an easy fight, as Deimos is no fool, and his forces, while strong as average mooks, get dangerous progressively over time. And, but luckily, the Star Warden is not alone, for he is joined by Princess Kaguya Bailey. Why her last name is Bailey? Because she is married to the Star Warden. Unlike other isekai, there are no harems here. The main character is already married. You don't have to worry about will they or won't they. You just get an already set up romance. They're already together. They're very cute together. They are the power couple of this book, and they work together throughout the entire story. And you'll learn more about the relationship in the book. So if you're looking for a heavily action adventure series and focus more on the plot than character angst and all of that, this is for you. If you want an isekai that doesn't have all the predictable elements in it, you got that here. If you don't care and you just want a good story overall, then you've got that here. This is basically a straightforward tale. There's no frills, no twists. It's a straightforward good versus evil story, just with my 2 cents put onto it to make it feel unique. Also, robots. Lots of robots. This is not like pure, it's just typical fantasy. There's a lot of typical fantasy elements, but there's also big sci-fi elements. If I had to describe the world you're going to go into, think of the high fantasy setting of Zelda, mixed in with the robots and the high octane action adventure of the Sonic the Hedgehog, and you got a pretty good idea of what you're jumping into. Ooh, you chose that pick. It's a flashback of a younger Sam Bailey and the younger Princess Kaguya.
You supplied it. What you talking about?
Yeah, I was just describing it for our viewing audience.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the book. The romancing Sam Kaguya. It's mostly in flashbacks because I don't want to drag you out on a will they, won't they romance where it's like, they're gonna get together or not, and then you have to wait like a bunch of books. They finally get together at the end of it, just like a bunch of anime I can name. No, they're pretty much already they're married. They're just married, and it's sweet. It's very sweet. You've got. I don't want to spoil it too much, so you can still go read it. But you've kind of got an opposite attract things. You've got basically the highborn princess and the country bumpkin, but the country in this place being 21st century America. So he's like, if you've seen Outlaw Star and Gene and Melfina, you've got that's a pretty good idea of what you're going with. The very hot-blooded with the very hot-blooded guy with the soft-spoken girl, which I actually don't see a lot in anime. Sometimes they do, like Naruto, but they just took forever to commit to that. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. I committed to the bit. That's the best part of my book. It commits to everything. It isn't some half-hearted, half-assed attempt at giving you an action story or a power couple. No. It commits to the bit fully. No pretenses, no like winks or nods at the audience. No, this is fully commit. You get invested in this because it's sincerity. I offer sincerity when I wrote this book. My heart's in this book. I'm going to give you to it. I'm not going to subvert your expectation or anything like that. No, sincerity. Sincerity is at the heart of every good piece of art. Without it, you got nothing but a product. Who wants just a product? You can get a product anywhere. You won't get this anywhere else.
I'm loving it so far. Tell me more about tell me about the action. First of all, I'm an action guy, so how do you write your action? Well, like how do you plan out your action?
Well, let's see. There's some of it is a bit some of it is a bit blow by blow at times. Others it's glossed over, but there is a lot of action. Essentially, I make sure there's a bit of context at the start to ensure that you know what the stakes are, and then the rest of the story gets more and more onto the action with a few breaks for character moments, but mostly it's action all the way through. You start with action, it's going to end with action. The action itself. Well, it is basically most of it is a how do I describe it? A duo. Basically, Sam and Tyler acting like a duo. They're also as a battle couple. They use teamwork in each of their fights. Tyler uses magic, and Sam he's gonna fight. Either he's gonna use ray gun, he's gonna use his sword, and they're going to mix up whenever they need to fight. And they've got a variety of enemies. You've got regular monsters, you got bigger monsters. There's even a demon that they fight, and that's a very interesting one. But they've got very dangerous enemies, such as the robot that are the main enforcers for Deimos. Those fights, those are good ones. Sometimes they can go quick, or other times they're going to be much tougher. It all depends. It really all depends on how I've contextualized each action scene. It's not just it's action there for a minute. Like no, there's each context. I just try and gloss over the context really quick so you can get to the action.
Uh, so this inspired you through Saturday morning cartoons. Am I correct?
Yep, that anime.
What was your inspiration? I mean, what's your like name your inspirations for this book?
Well, the biggest main inspiration for this book is Sonic the Hedgehog, specifically the Saturday morning cartoon, not Adventures, not Underground, the one known as Sonic 7 AM, the darker, more dramatic one, where you basically had Sonic as part of Freedom Fighters and Robotnik already ruling the planet Mobius.
Sonic,
Yeah, that one.
Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he is the fastest thing alive.
That one, yes. That was basically the inspiration because I like that part of I really like that part of Sonic lore. And it's a shame that no longer it gets any focus. But hey, that means I can take it up. In fact, the robot enemies are called SWAT bots. So it's like I'm not hiding my inspiration. It's like, yeah, it's pretty much clear as day. Hey, if you know it, you'll get it.
Nice.
If you know it, you'll get it. If you don't know it, well, it's just a cool name. But basically, that was the other
Right.
inspirations. Other inspirations
And
are oh
real quick to the uninitiated, to even the uninitiated, they would just think it's just you playing playing off the idea of how simple the naming of the mooks are.
what?
Oh, you can continue.
Oh, okay.
No, I was saying like how like you got the stormtroopers, the clankers, or at least the battle droids, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Until you get into later on when they contextualize more stuff, you get more titles added to them just to give them some sophistication. But back in the Saturday morning days, it's like you just had some weird names for such foot soldiers,
yeah,
and anybody who's not initiated will probably just look at that and just play it off as like, oh, he's as they say, it's a Saturday morning cartoon, so he's just using that as a way of poking fun, or maybe even paying homage to a Saturday morning cartoons.
yeah. The other
So anything
inspiration
anything else?
that comes from this is
Yeah. No,
You
no.
ever heard the show Reboot?
Oh yeah.
The,
Little
that
reboot.
also played a role
We're going to talk
because
about that sometime next year.
oh sweet,
I mean, we can have you
that
on there too
show
if you want to talk about that next year.
sweet. But that show I
But
chose
go
it
on.
well because that show got hit hard by BS&P by Broadcast Standards and Practices. That like
Oh
there were
yeah.
like there were like times where like that one episode with Indio's birthday where it's like, oh, you can't have Dot give her little brother like a peck of cheek or something. That promotes incest. Like, what the heck is wrong with you people? Like at ABC, like what? It's like I really like that show, but it's like sad that it got hampered for most of the first two seasons, and then it got to be let loose during season three. So it's like I really like that show.
Hmm.
It was the inspiration because one is pretty unique. It's set inside a computer, and all the characters are part of it. It's not like, oh, there's humans involved. And two, I wanted to be like, okay, I want to be as like I want to get kind of like dark as this show as well. Ooh, and use a lot of computer terms.
You
And
know what was my
yes,
favorite part about that series? I
what?
think you know.
Mm,
Warning, incoming game. Warning,
GameCubes.
incoming game.
Uh, yeah,
Game over. Hey
the
Dom, we
user
have the
wins.
Hound of the South, Dominic Powell with us.
Good
Game
evening,
over.
everybody.
The user has won. Go ahead, Dom.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you all are having a very pleasant weekend.
We are.
Yes.
So Draco, explain to me this scene right here. It's popping up now.
That one. That is an illustration in the earliest in on the earliest chapter when we first get to introduce of the SWAT bots. They're
So
fighting in
this is him shooting at the SWAT bot.
yeah, he just took out one of them. The SWAT bots are hard to kill. You gotta go for the head. They're
Simple,
kind of Terminator
yet
Tonka built
difficult.
tough, so go for the head.
So do they come in? I was looking at this picture and I'm like, wait, do they come in shapes and sizes, or all varying shapes and sizes?
They're pretty uniform.
Okay, because I'm just saying, like the perspective is was throwing me off. Like who are the shadowy people around Sir Bailey?
Oh yeah,
If
those
that
are
is Sir
all
Bailey.
yeah, that is the Star Warden, yes. Yeah, they're just flying. They're just fight is turning into a flying fight. There's a lots of use
Okay.
of flying
Oh,
because yeah, that's why. If you can
go
see,
explain.
there's his rockets. There's rockets on his back, and they're flying. The SWAT bots are using rockets on their feet. There's a lot of flying in this series. Like basically everyone or anyone who's important, they're going to have the ability to fly either through technology, through biology, or through magic.
Is it essential in this world?
No, you can get
Like,
a
is it like a like? Go ahead.
like you can get around without flying for the most part. Well, but if you want to travel like different lands, no, you're gonna need to like have airships and stuff because like the planet they're on, the setting, Ethereum, is basically a gas giant like Saturn, but habitable. All land masses are floating. So unless you live on like a big continent or a huge island, if you want to go somewhere else across the world, you gotta fly, and it's just natural built for flying into these, and so naturally my enemies have to have flight capabilities as well. Otherwise, the hero will just have an overwhelming advantage, and that won't do, especially in an underdog story. Plus, I love
Hmm.
flying. I love flying characters. You know what? Everyone is going to fly in this series, kind of like in Stormhawks.
I'm gonna get Starscream was your favorite predict. Sorry. Decepticon.
No, Starscream's a freaking wimp and a coward.
He was mine because he turned into a jet mostly. That's the only reason why. That's the reason why he was my favorite. I was into jets thanks to Top Gun.
Oh, you were also a Top Gun fan. Yes.
I mean, who doesn't like Top
Hmm
Gun?
I'm telling you, I was born in 1987.
Lucky man.
Yeah, who
Top
doesn't?
Gun, amazing. Like
And 96 on my end.
Oh, you motherfucker!
apparently the Navy doesn't like
Here I
Top
thought we were
Gun
almost
because I
equal.
read that people in the actual program get fined if you quote the movie.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was surprised too. Like, really? You get fined for
What?
that? Yeah, in the Navy.
Wow. I honestly didn't know that.
So you get fined by saying you can be my wingman anytime.
or
Okay.
if you've lost that love and feeling. Yeah,
Or if you play Take My Breath Away, apparently.
yeah. I wonder what you get for danger zone. But yeah, I love Top Gun. I like flying. So I wanted, and plus there was a lot of rocket packs. Oh, Neostar's here, sweet, right, man. In old pulp stories, which are also no inspiration, there was a lot of people with rocket like Commando Cody, Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers. They also had it. So you know what? I'm gonna give mine a rocket pack, which then led to using fairies as like one of the mainstay fancy, the main thing races in the series. So it's like, you know what? Yeah, let's
Nice.
have everyone fly. I like flying. Old pulp heroes used to be able. Some used to fly. So like, good. So it's like a lot of them.
So, no, that's Dominic Powell, dude. Dominic Powell was born in 96. I was born in 87, of course.
Yeah, he was
Thank you.
stupid in the danger
Thank you,
zone.
William. He says, well, you could say, you could say Starscream was one to live in the danger zone
Yeah, he was stupid in it.
and pointed. So, so so your inspirations was Saturday morning cartoons, specifically Saturday AM and Reboot. Your inspirations was also Flash Gordon, or just basically anybody that had a jetpack or just flying in general.
Yep.
So what is so how one question I would like to ask is how long did it take for you to get this done? What was your development cycle?
It was a long one. It took me. I didn't get this out till like March of this year, but I started development in 2018, and it took me. I had to go through a bunch of
Well,
stuff. What?
that's a decent amount of time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a decent amount of time. So you
yeah.
said you started
Basically,
at 2010, finally got released in 2002. Sorry, 2022.
no, I started in 2018. It's like that's when I started
2018.
developing, getting 2018. That's when I started developing it, getting ideas, getting serious about because this originally started out as a backup plan because I was originally working with some friends on a web comic, which also had a sci-fi fantasy mix. Those plans fell through, so this got the full focus. And man, it took me a long time because not only did I had to I was watching some. Not only was I reading old stories for the first time, like A Princess of Mars, and watching Flash Gordon, the '80s Flash Gordon movie. I was also watching the modern day Japanese isekai stuff. I was like, okay, I want to get a feel for what's going on here. I want to get more. Like a lot of them were a lot of them I don't want to watch again. Some were good, some were great, some were okay, like Shield Hero. And it's like, okay, I have a good idea of what I don't want in my isekai story, but there's things that I do. There are things that I do want. So I'm going to so that's where it started. There, I had to go through multiple different character names. Like most of the focus went on developing the three main, well, who I call the three main characters: Sam, Kaguya, and Deimos. Like if I had to say the main villain went through like most of the changes. Sam was pretty easy. I just had to figure out his name and how he looked. Otherwise, his character was pretty straightforward, not much of adjustments. Kaguya had to do a little bit of adjustments to get right. She had a completely different name at first, but then when I leaned into the whole East-West America Japanese East-West romance thing, I think that's when it became Kaguya. And I really had to decide if I wanted her to be more of a cat girl or a fairy. I tried to combine the two, but was advised that looked too busy, so it went with fairy in the end. Deimos, though, the character I've talked least about so far, oh, he went through a bunch of changes, like figuring out the main antagonist of the book and later on the entire series. Like that was hard to do, but I figured it out, and it's been so worth it because he's also an amazing character. And that's why, like, I consider them the three main characters because if these characters are connected with each other, like how Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf are, and they are so pivotal to the universe that yeah, you're basically all of the leads.
A 5 year development cycle. That should be the good development cycle that you should have when considering this, creating your own thing. And
Yeah.
this one thing I would say, it goes out to everybody who are listening, watching. Don't try your best not to make your project run that long. Ne- You keep in mind of that, guys. Especially if you were just if you're doing it as a hobby, but if you're doing it as a business, production wise, you do not want to run your project that long. I'm taking this advice as same thing with Ishii, even though Ishii has gone ahead and say that the development cycle should not be longer than 5 years, but for you managed to get it out there, which is good. So you pretty much impart the mantra, just getting it done. It's the greatest satisfaction right there.
Yep.
What was your pit like? What kind of pitfalls did you face when developing this?
Pitfalls? Let's see. Mostly, well, writing pitfalls because I had to get back into the groove of things after a long break from writing. My gosh, yeah, there was like a lot of pitfalls. I started out far too slow. Like I like okay, how do I start it? Like I just took for like okay, so other isekai stories started out with them on the known world, then they get transported, and I start out with that, and it was like so slow to get to the point. I was like, ugh. So I had to like scrap a lot of that stuff. Like when you read the book, it's gonna feel like it's in medias res because mostly I just skip the boring parts to get to okay, yes, Earth set, we already know it, move on. And so the other pitfall to deal with was trying to get it published. Like I've never like this is my first published work. Like so it was that was the hardest part. Like the art stuff was getting it easy. I just didn't know how to format entirely well. Finding an editor was a bit difficult. I actually tried to hire Kat for it, but I didn't get a response from her for the longest time. But I found a different editor. He's named Daniel P. Riley. He's amazing, and he's pretty affordable too when it comes to getting stuff proofread. Like so, that was an issue. Trying to figure out Amazon's like trying to get like good the cover, the back, and trying to make sure it fit inside the margins for the book so I could make it. That was a hassle. So it was like, yeah, this was like some things I learned. Oh, this was easier and quick. Other things were like a real pain because Amazon's very particular about every single little thing. So
Yeah, and that's basically even the thing when I thought about it, when I would try to publish my story whenever it would be close to getting finished. It's right when they'd be very particular, and I think it was right after Rings of Power. It's when they'd be that particular, it would become very desensitizing.
Yeah. But I managed to figure out. I mean, the physical book cover is different from the ebook cover because I have no idea how to do graphic design work. I don't have the programs or the equipment for it, so I just use whatever Amazon had for the ebook cover. Luckily, I got a friend who hooked me up and got me a good look for the physical cover. That's why it's got Star Wars got that sci-fi font now. Oh, and it's like, oh, it looks good. And I've got it set up. I got it also set up for the second book, which hopefully will come out at the end of this year. But if not, it'll be the start of next year for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, Volume 2 is like nearly ready to go once the edits are complete.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, another one.
Has anybody bought your book yet?
I'm just hearing
We'll
about
get
it
into
just
this
now.
but real quick question.
Like, I'm just
I'm
hearing
saying
about
real
it
quick
just
right now.
now.
How many like has anybody purchased the book yet?
Oh, a lot of people have purchased the book, and I've got 4 ratings currently on Amazon, although only 3 are visible. I don't think the 4th one left to review. But a lot of people have already bought it. So far, I've got a purchase each month for my book. There has not been like a dry, or there hasn't been a month so far where no one's bought it.
Yeah. Yowza, man,
So,
that's good.
yeah, it's doing
That's really
pretty
good.
well. Yeah, like things
Hopefully,
went really well.
by the time this one wraps up, yeah, I'm saying hopefully by the time this stream wraps up, that now you at least give it some attention.
Yeah,
Hope it gets a
thank
lot
you
of
for
attention
that.
because
Yeah,
this
thank
artwork,
you for this,
man.
Wolf. Oh, the
You're
artwork.
welcome. Because when I heard you got a book published and you're we'll get into that soon. When you got your book published and you get a second book, like, oh no, man, man, let's not wait for Ishii. Like, come over to my spot. We'll get that talked about. Um, the artwork is not color; it's black and white, like a manga.
Yes, but yeah, all of the art is done by Gochi Monji, who is an amazing artist. Like professional too. He's like really reliable. He made all this. Like this is one of my favorite of the illustrations. This is technically a flashback, but this is day 1. See, most isekai protagonists, they'll end up on they will end up in the middle of the field, or they're going to end up in the castle and they'll meet the king and the princess. Sam Bailey, on the other hand, he ends up being burnt alive and tossed off the castle by the main villain. Day 1. It's like this is what helps me this all separate.
That's brutal.
Yes. This event also plays a part in like a bit of Sam's character. He doesn't have like he has an aspirational arc, but this is like some internal issues he's also dealing with, because like this wasn't just like, oh, this is part of the origin story, but it's in the past. No, he has effects from this. I think one person a beta reader
He's single
said,
arm throwing them.
yep. He just burned him alive and threw him off the castle. It's like the unlike the one big problem I had with a lot of isekai works in modern day, okay, is that the villains are non-flipping existent or they're weak. Like they are absolute weaklings. Like Shield Hero is one of the egregious examples of that. And it's like I'm tired of it. Like if we're gonna have these overpowered heroes, then where are my overpowered villains? Where are my evil Emperor Zergs? We don't have that. So Deimos is like a response to that, and why I created this scene to basically, instead of like having the hero start out with that slice of life, like they just meet with the castle, end up in a random field and meet the hot lead heroine, or buyer in a slave market if you're a shield hero fan. No, I had the villain act decisively, and it's like, no, the hero, I'm going to kill this potential hero before he even has a chance to even oppose me. But we wouldn't have a story if he was actually dead, so it didn't work. But you gotta give Daniels points for actually trying to be like, no, I am ending this before it begins. Like, I want to talk about Daniels, but he's kind of a bit spoilerific. Because
The way how you're explaining him, it seems like a pragmatic one.
kinda he is kind of the pragmatic. He does have a lot of pragmatism in him, but he is very much the typical Saturday morning cartoon villain. He's got the monologues, he's got the evil laugh, and he's got the blatant evil look to him. The difference is basically, I don't have any broadcast standards and practices breathing down my neck, because look what happened with original Skeletor from Skeletor in the original series. Like, okay, they could be evil, but they had to be held back. They gotta be a bit comedic. I mean, Lord Zed in the Power Rangers, parents complained, so they had to make him a bit more comedic, and they married him to Rita, which wasn't all that bad considering he got more victories. But you see what happened to a lot of villains.
When you bring up the whole marriage between Rita and Zed, like Linkara did point that out in the season 3 History of Power Rangers review, or rather retrospective. And I have to agree with him. Like Zed, like thanks to their combined might, they were actually get more wins than losses. I mean, by themselves, they weren't really gaining much ground, but together they were able to take down the Power Rangers themselves, which was was quite a feat for us as children to see the heroes lose like that. Oh man, when they lost the power coins, I was heated as a kid. Heated.
Yeah, I do like the writers.
Like that elicited a strong emotion out of me.
Yeah,
Just
I think it's the writers.
Yeah.
They know what they had to do. They had to pull Zed back from being menacing. They just okay, we don't have to let him lose his confidence. He doesn't have to be a complete idiot. We just got to be able to make more comedic. So good on the Power Rangers writers for doing that. But as for Deimos, effectively,
he's an American-made villain.
Yeah. As for Deimos, I made him because one, I wanted some OP villains in Isekai, which we don't have. I wanted that old hero versus villain Saturday morning cartoon dynamic. Yeah, true. Neostar, the Shield Hero did have most of the kingdom against him, but my problem with that is that as soon as like Naofumi gets like to a certain power level in the series, the kingdom can barely do anything to him outside of slander. They can't technically kill him, and the Princess Mine is a complete weakling. She's dumb. She's not strong enough, and that's my big issue with Shield Hero and their villains. There's no top tier bad guy that can challenge the Shield Hero effectively, and the ones that can do eventually become good guys in the end. Deimos is the big bad. No ambiguity on that. The book goes into his backstory and what he is, so I don't want to spoil it here because man, I want you to see the reveal for yourself. But what I can tell you is this: he has the like classical evil traits of like Zurg or Skeletor or Zed, but he has the success rate of like Dr. Robotnik from Setagam, or you ever see a show called Mighty Max? Megabyte, yes, that's another influence. Megabyte, he was also pretty successful.
Dude, you're talking to 90s kids. We all know about Mighty Max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Skullmaster, who, for admittedly, since I was pretty late on the ball, I don't know what, but he's also one of the more successful villains. Actually, the 90s had more successful cartoon villains than most. Huh.
When you think about
Hey,
it, yeah,
don't
they
forget the 80s.
really knew how to write villains. Like, yeah, yeah, definitely the 80s, but we're still focused on the 90s. Like people like characters like Limburger from Biker Mice from Mars. Like, yes, he was getting he's completely getting his ass handed to him by biker mice on Earth, but damn it, what you hear what he did to their planet, that's never they're never going to come back to that, or
Mm-hmm.
probably they're never going to recover from that. Like
Yeah.
Mars is a waste, and
Venger
what
from
what, what the waste
D&D.
was has affected them in multiple ways. Oh yeah, the cartoon Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, then Venger was a pretty like
Am I correct?
I finally got a chance to watch the show and like, oh my god, I like Venger. He was never defeated unless they needed a bit of an outside help. Like the kids could never defeat him directly,
Yeah,
really. So I was like, that's kind of cool. Like that's what. Oh, and Beast Wars Megatron, of course. How could I
reminds
forget?
me of Everworld.
Yeah,
It reminds me of Everworld, the book series Everworld,
Oh,
where the
all
kids are
right.
constantly in pursuit of the main villain in that one. I only got one of the books, so I can't really say much of Everworld. I was mostly an Animorphs reader,
hmm.
and the only reason why I bring up Everworld because that's also written by the same writer as Animorphs. That and Del Toro, the Del Toro Quest.
Hmm.
Simple
Oh,
reads
dude.
mostly, but
Yeah, back in
really
elementary
good.
school, I had the whole series of Del Toro Quest.
Yeah. What I can tell you about
Yeah,
Deimos is this: he's already he is the ruler of the planet Ethereum. He's already conquered it. Yeah, yeah. He's effectively in charge, and he's completely out. He's basically got the Star Warden and the rebels, who are called the Restoration. They're not called the Resistance. They're called the Restoration because none of the free people think Deimos
I
is the
like that.
legitimate ruler. Yeah, it was my difference because I didn't want to just call it another rebellion. If I called it resistance, well, that word has just been abused by modern entertainment. Ugh.
Not not to mention where they completely misunderstand what a resistance entails.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the
You have to
rebels
have a
here, they're
legit evil to be able to resist.
yeah,
And so far,
Not some
from what I'm
allegory to
hearing,
societal's made up issues.
hmm and from what I'm hearing so far with Star Warden, like you are actually using resistance in the right context in its definition.
yeah. But I called them the restoration because because a lot of them, because a lot of the
Okay,
leaders are actually former nobles and kings who were overthrown by Deimos when he took over, and those that survived, they're fighting to restore the proper authority and remove what they see as a usurper. So it's not so they don't see themselves as rebels because how can you rebel against something that's illegitimate? No, that's just a thief in power. They need to be removed. Deimos should just call them rebels because, well, to him they are. Yeah,
I'm just looking at the designs, like especially with Sir Bailey. What what made you come up with his design?
I'm
I
thinking about that too.
Because
I
it's got
actually
that
didn't
crusader look.
see
You
the
didn't?
weird thing.
Oh,
See the here's the
elaborate.
here's the thing. I had a friend of mine who was the first person who I introduced the idea of Star Wars to. He mostly came up with how the power armor looks. I mostly just wanted red, white, and blue and a falling star on it. And he is the one who added the extra elements, like why the Star Wars kind of has a has a tokusatsu look to it, almost a Kamen Rider ish to it.
Also, it's
I
got
wanted him to be
Kamen Rider
mostly night.
inspired, Sentai inspired.
Yeah, though more writer inspired in this case. My friend's more a writer than a Sentai fan.
Right, right.
But yeah, so I just wanted a knightly look, but he added the other elements such as the cape. It's all the white cape that he has. It's all tattered and torn. It's not like pristine like a true knightly cape is because well, he's basically a down. What's the proper word for it? He's basically a ragtag rebel. He's a knight, but he's a rebel. He's effectively a rebel knight, so he's
Real
not
quick,
always going
Draco.
to look pristine. Hmm? Yeah.
Real quick. Anybody try? You guys got any questions? Please ask your questions about the book, guys. Come on, get them talking.
Yeah. I'm open to any questions you have.
Anybody on this panel actually? You got any questions?
Yes, Neo Star Patriot. The red, white, and blue because Sam is an American, which is why this is why it works as an isekai story because he's clearly
Dude,
American.
that would work for a title. Tokusatsu Patriot.
I mean, isn't
We
that
also
effectively what
got
common America is anyway?
well, I'd say Senshi Patriot mostly. She seems to be a Senshi. Sailor Senshi.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean the common is obviously a reference to, you know, Common Rider.
Yeah.
But we also
Like,
have a Patriot with us too, but he's hardly ever, sadly he's not really with us that much. And that's, of course, you probably know who that is. The guy for Patriot, Owen Lister.
Owen.
Yeah, I thought so. One of these days we'll probably one of these days I'll make time to try to get the guy for Patriot back on with us so that, you know, he won't be missed, or, you know, he won't leave an empty hole for us, because my goodness, he's been busy with his work also called Beetle Blaze,
Oh,
which is mostly which he wears his inspiration on his sleeve, which is it's basically the Guyver. He's been inspired by the Guyver with this one. Bless you.
yeah.
But yeah, one of these
Yeah.
days we gotta get you two together. You and Owen Lister, so he can learn a few things of what the process is of making your own work. If he wants to, if that's his job to. Oh wow, guess I am getting tired. Slur my words now. Should he ever want to turn his work into a business? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you want to publish a comic book for fun, at, at best. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because he's on the right
What the
path.
work
And truth be told, with the artwork, especially when he's improving, with the way how he's improving now, he don't really need it to be. I told him, like, dude, at this point, what you should always focus on first and foremost, your story. Your artwork is just secondary. Period. If it's good, it's good. If it's great, it's great. If it's bad, overall, with all those in mind, overall, what you should always work on is your story, because good art ain't is worth squat if your story is bad. Bad art will just make your artworks. I mean, make your story worse.
Yeah.
But above all else, your story should be at least good on
Yes.
both fronts. Because you can have bad art, but you can have a great story behind it. And bad art is just a road to improved art later on in life if you continue the story as long as you can. You know. But as far as Draco's story, look at this art, man. Look at this art. That's Kaguya
So,
with him, right?
yes, that is Princess Kaguya.
Okay. What inspired her design? Did your friend also create her too, or did you create her yourself?
Her design, that was a mix of things. Things I wanted. Basically, I wanted to try and do well. First things first, I had to figure out what species she was going to be, and that took trouble. Like, I like cat girls, but it's like I want to fly. I wanted to fly. So fairy cat girl, but that didn't. Was like that looked too messy. That was like imagining in my head and talking to some other friends. It was like, yeah, that's a bit too messy. So I didn't work fairy. But overall, I wanted her to have a Princess Zelda vibe, but I wanted her to look like a pulp heroine, like in a lot of old stories, like you would have like a princess, and she would usually have a bare midriff. Like if you look at that, like well, Deja Thoris is effectively naked, so technically not that. But if you look at Princess Aura from the Flash Gordon TV show by Filmation, you basically have that. Basically have her like in like on a crop top and a bare midriff. And so I wanted to fit that as well into her design. And I took from another Zelda character from Hyrule Warriors called Lana. And so so she can have like she can look beautiful, look like an actual woman, not have to be all covered up and boring looking, but also still maintain a prim, proper princess look, which is why she wears tights underneath her skirt, because that would be unladylike for her to show her bare legs. Like unladylike indeed. The white hair, though. Well, the white hair,
I was
the
definitely
whole, yeah, the white hair. See, the white hair and basically the purple eyes. She has purple eyes. Purple. Wait, what? I heard something in the background. Anyway, the
Oh,
white,
sorry.
huh?
That was my fault. I'm editing my story.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Basically, the reason she has white hair and purple eyes. Fun fact: she has purple eyes, where humans would have whites, fairies have a color that's the lighter variant of their iris color. The reason she has that is because Princess Kaguya is the celestial emissary. Essentially, she is an angel, like an angel from heaven, given flesh form. So think, kind of like the wizards from Lord of the Rings things, which basically is the source of why she can do some very powerful magic that other people, that most fairies can't do. And so, as a sign of that, as a sign when the celestial emissary is born as a baby, like everyone else, they have white hair and purple eyes. Like a fairy can have white hair and a fairy can have purple eyes, but they're never going to have that combination. Only the emissary has that. That's like divine law on genetics. That combination, like immediately you know who you're dealing with, which is also partly the problem because it makes for an easy target for Deimos, who definitely wants to get rid of her. Like, I would explain
so
more,
he
but
doesn't
I
want to
really don't want to
marry
get
her
into
for
detail on
political
Deimos and
reasons.
spoil it.
He just wants her gone.
Well, there's a huge political reason.
Then don't.
Yeah, there's a huge political reason why he wants her gone. There's other reasons which are revealed in the story.
Well, here's the thing. So Neil Star has a question. He says, "I too want to make a powerful and serious villain, but I was worried about scaling him too high compared to the protagonist. Is there a way to avoid writing yourself into a corner?"
Yes, give him a weakness. Like there are
That's
ways.
simple, huh?
Yeah, it is pretty simple. You can have your high powered villains, but you want to make sure they don't. You get into a hero in the corner, just give some weakness, like easy. Since I'm still talking about Zelda. Remember, Gandalf's weak to the Master Sword. Boom, boom. There's one weakness. Or Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Or Bizarre's Adventure. He's a vampire, weak to light, can't go out in the sunlight. Boom, another weakness. There's some way, or maybe your hero's a bit more smarter, maybe your villain's stronger, and your hero's just a bit clever, so he has to use his wits to escape from a stronger villain. Boom, you've got some deficiency you can take advantage of in order to make sure your powerful villain doesn't just outright kill the hero like that. Or maybe your villain's like really likes to gloat and monologue, like, you know what, I'm not gonna kill you just yet. I want to take my time. So kind of like Dr. Eggman, man. And so you want that. Basically, you need to look. Basically, your villain either has a weakness or a deficiency, as all villains do. Like, so they can be really powerful and like in certain areas, and they're really smart. But the reason they lose because they overlook something, or they have a personality defect, or they have a mental defect. Like they can't see. They imagine something's gonna go this way, but they don't know like love or how certain emotions work. Like they've got like this bad mindset that blinds them from certain factors, or they just have like this huge crippling weakness that you gotta take account for, and it gives the hero a chance. Like Dracula has a bunch of different weaknesses, but he's still one of the scariest villains that we know in our modern history. Like Simon Belmont can kill Dracula because he's got a holy weapon. Like, yeah, vampire, he's strong. Like, yeah, Dracula's not going to go down one hit, but you've got something on him that can help even the odds. That's how I would say you do it, Neostar. You may find another method, but that's just mine.
Sorry, I'm looking up an Apocalypse quote.
Apocalypse. Wait, the Marvel character or
Marvel character.
okay?
And trying to figure out which episode was it and which season. There's only 5 seasons.
Was it season 3?
It could be. Was it Out of the Past? They only had no lines for Out of the Past. Wow, oh wow. Wow.
Oh,
This is barely
Neostar's
even
gonna. Oh, I'm
anything
looking at the
here.
chat. Neostar's gonna buy a copy. Thank you, Neostar.
Yeah, that tends to happen like to artists, whether you're writing or you're illustrating or even making music. Don't overthink things, all right?
Yep. Oh, I can tell you stories about
My
me
greatest
overthinking
weakness, but I'm
things.
actually trying to keep that under control.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep that under control myself. Overthinking.
Never
Oh my
overthink.
goodness.
No,
This
don't
is
overthink.
wiki
I have learned
quotes.
that lesson the hard way.
Ah.
I
It's
probably
like
could have
somebody
Star
just threw
Warden
in the
out like a
titles and
year
they just didn't
earlier
even
if I didn't
put in the
overthink.
footwork.
But
Ah.
Yeah, well, I guess my,
There was
my
an
question
apocalypse
is
quote
like,
that was gonna I'm sorry. There was an apocalypse quote I was gonna say that to overlap with what Draco was saying to Neostar just for giggles, but it's too late. Keep talking, guys.
well, my question is like, how did you meet your artists, and like, how often do you two keep in touch with each other as you bring this work to life?
let's see. I met him through another person on Twitter, Anime. Like I saw he did work on that. It's like okay, he has an anime style work. That actually was what I wanted, and so I talked to him, and so that led to that. Like, oh, you can do this. He did some images for me. Like, okay, I need you to do these black and white illustrations, and well, the rest is history. As for keeping in contact with him, yeah, I try to, but mostly we're mostly on a professional basis. It's not anything personal, but I do try and keep in contact with him, and he's definitely behind on the work. And he's ready whenever I bring work to him. So whenever I get that done, whenever it's ready, like boom, I got it. He's got my back.
All
So
right,
you
that's
work in
good to
harmony.
hear.
Yeah, he does. He also like adds stuff to like he adds stuff like, okay, I didn't expect you to add that, or I didn't expect you to do that, and like, oh, it just makes it that much better. I let my artist be my artist. Like I give like a nice description of it, detail as much as I can, but I leave the artist to handle in the final judgment because they know their craft. I'm a writer. I don't draw, so I'm gonna leave it to the hands of the expert to do it. And comes through every time.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, Gochimonji is amazing.
Wow, I honestly didn't know like you connected with each other through anime.
Yeah.
No, he's a good guy.
Neil Star in the
I
chat.
am
He's
Apocalypse.
comparing.
Look upon the future and tremble.
Neil Star also like comparing like I think he's comparing Kaguya to like Princess Lana from Captain N. Hmm. Funny
Yeah.
enough, I actually there was I think if there is some sketches of Kaguya in like in a Lana like outfit in the earlier designs. I don't know where it is though.
Well, if nothing else, like I said, hopefully it gets attention. And dude, when money is in my favor, or at least hopefully by next year, I'll be off my ass and buy me a copy because I want to read
Sweet.
this. I can't wait to see what you do in the next book. So like this will be my gateway, and guys, please do definitely support Draco Nightmare in his endeavors. Like he is one of the people that are being the alternative, and it's good to have somebody who's is literally being the alternative to storytelling and book writing. And you guys got any more questions for him?
I got nothing else really.
Oh,
Actually, I do have one more.
I
yep.
just think we just want to shut up and give you money.
Well, other than that, who are your major influences as a writer?
My major influences that would be it's a mix. I've got old ones like Edgar Rice Burroughs, definitely, and Michael Moorcock. I love his
Ooh.
stories as well. Not not a big fan of his Elric works, but I've read Corum and I'm still reading Hawk Moon. Since I love Hawk Moon. Hawk Moon's a very straightforward hero. More modern influences that come in my writing is she's also on Twitter, Fiona Wolf. She's making her the Uplift Protocol series. I definitely read that for some inspiration. It's like okay, here's I can do something else better. It's like she learned she's not very good at action scenes, but she's good at a lot of character stuff and dialogue, which is like okay. I took inspiration from that to make sure all the characters have a separate voice.
Not very good action scenes.
And I
That's a nice
wouldn't.
critique there.
And even she says that she's not the best at acting scenes. She's also improving. So yeah, there's that. But there's also that which helped
It's
me
good to know.
with her writing. Helped me
Hmm.
develop. Help me develop for voices for the characters to make sure they're distinct because like you're gonna find that in the book, Sam and Kaguya are going. They don't sound alike at all. Like sometimes love interests and good and couples can like they sometimes sound to like no. Sam is definitely like from our he's definitely from our world. He uses a lot of our slang and our pop culture references. And that's the only pop culture reference you're gonna get because only he would know them. And Talia is very highfalutin. It's like almost talking to Spock with almost how wordy she is. Like extremely formal. It's like, man, she like sometimes you may think you depending on how you see it, you may like, man, she's like very grateful. You're like, man, she is long-winded. It will depend, but yes, distinct voices for all the characters.
Oh, not man, dude.
Yeah, like yeah, that's why I
man,
like
Wow.
you,
voices.
So
you,
so she is the Spock to
man, you
your
speak my language.
character's Kirk.
Yeah, but I prefer she's the Melfina to Sam's Jean.
All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bur- Burroughs and Moorcock. Those
So
are some
yeah.
heavy
So you
hitters,
said you said one
but
purchase a
good major
month?
influences.
What?
I was saying you got one purchase per month, man. Like
Per
and you
month,
and you're set
yes.
and so far you so paperback, hang on.
No,
Let me
paperback
share
came out
screen real
later than
quick.
the ebook. The ebook came out first, since I had no idea how to make a paperback.
Oh, that's why. So
What?
the Kindle was sitting at $3. So you start with ebook.
Hmm.
That's probably why you've been getting a purchase per month
Yeah, but
because
people still
ebooks
buy
are
the
easier.
paperback. Yeah, ebooks are easier. That ebooks has the most, but also because there was a delay between the ebook and paperback releases, so ebook had just had more time on the shelf, so
Mm-hmm.
to speak.
Right. Right. And how many paperbacks have been bought?
Um, I can double check. How many in total paperbacks been bought? Um, let's see.
It's still in
Paperback
stock, but
versions.
I'm I'm just like,
Yeah, 35.
you know, whoa. I'm stunned. Believe it or not, I'm actually stunned by that number.
Yeah, it's
Man, you're an
doing pretty okay for
you're an
first
entrepreneur, and
published ever of anything.
look, to some that might be low, but to me that's dude, that's high enough for me. Like if I ever release bouncers and I was seeing that number of purchase, I'd be like, well, you know what? It's getting bought, man. And I'm just hoping that I'm entertaining people.
Yeah, I'm
I
happy
hope
that
that
people are
people
just buying it.
are reading a good to decent sort. Have you checked any of the reviews yet?
Yes I have. So far, only technically four ratings, but only three actual written reviews. Like I think I'm 4.8, 4.5 rating wise. So pretty well rated.
We got one for Fiona though.
Yeah, Fiona is man super supportive of all of indie.
I'm
Definitely go
gonna read her
subscribe to her
review.
or go follow her on
Men
Twitter.
and women as a team, likable characters, clear good versus evil. So much entertainment tries to deconstruct, leaving one feeling hollow. Not Star Warden. It aims to lift from above, showcase a hero's virtues instead of dwelling in the muck. Want space palace? This has it. Want magic? This has it. Want that sci-fi adventure? There, it's there too. I want more space fantasy rather than hardline reality. I love the fact that he has a battle couple. That's happy. Sam and Kaguya, classic couple material. So many people have the main couple at each other's throats from the get-go. Not so in Star Wars. They're stable and trust one another. It's refreshing. As for grit level, it's what you expect from the heyday of the late 80s to 90s cartoons, reboot, Gargoyles, the Batman animated series. To get to the point across that while his heroes are heroic, they will face setbacks that get civilians hurt or take it off the chessboard. But unlike the postmodern school of thought, he doesn't go overboard. You get that he wants his main villain, Deimos, to stick around and be a frontline threat, to go along with the Xanatos level plotting. The Eternal art fits for the type of setting he's creating. Doesn't get boggled down in exposition. Always a plus in my book. And two people found it helpful. That should be a higher number.
I agree.
Yeah, like
And
the only.
Robert D.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dominic.
Robert D. Frank.
well, what boils down to from
Go on, Tim.
Fiona's what boils down in Fiona's interview is with Star Warden. It's another example of superversive fiction and not subversive fiction.
Yes.
I like Robert D. Frank's uh, measured and and good review here. So advertised as a callback to the sci-fi yarns of old with the feel of a Saturday morning cartoon. Star Wanderer does not disappoint. From the action-packed opening to the final battle, the pace keeps racing, and I could have completed in one scene if responsibilities had made it possible. A bit simplistic, maybe, exaggerated action, possibly, but that just add to the fun from the square jawed knightly hero, his magical love, and a villain of the mustache twirling mwahaha variety. The author embraces the tropes and traditions of the genre. The story has heart to spare. The exuberance of the characters is was exhilarating. The descriptions of very visita, vistas fascinating. The world is almost a He-Man feel of magic blend with technology, and it works well. The writing had its clumsy moments and occasions of showing rather than telling. I don't get that. And the ending had some semi spoiler, a touch of Deus Ex Machina, but it was worth the ride getting there. Here's hoping for more to come. Well, I hope that builds your spirits up. Somebody's actually asking for more to come.
Yep. I did. I hopefully,
Hey, Louis, to see
if
you.
you get a copy, ebook or paperback, please leave a review. That's all I ask. I want to know your thoughts.
Well, as Ishiro would say, buy my book.
Yes, and leave a review.
Buy his book, damn it. Or else I'll have the Gyro Patriot visit you in the dead of night with his Mega Smasher. God, I miss. Can you guys tell I miss Owen Lister?
Yeah, I can tell.
I
So,
gotta meet
with
this
that being
guy.
said, with that being, yeah, you do. With that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for
Actually,
being here.
wait,
I'd like to
Wolf,
thank
before
everybody
you wrap up
for
everything,
indulging us.
I had a question.
Go ahead,
All right, it's actually for Final
ask away.
Fantasy. It's actually for Final Fantasy fan. All right,
Okay.
I said earlier when I said this book is for you. I basically have a straightforward heroic protagonist like the Warrior of Light. So after hearing all this, do you think this Star Warden is for you?
Maybe I might actually look into that
Sweet.
eventually.
Oh, how busy.
Um. Hmm.
That's what I wanted to ask. Oh wait, but the other question
Yeah,
for you,
yeah, a
Wolf.
slight delay on that one.
It's like delay on what?
Go ahead.
No, for you, Wolf. I had a question. So
No, no,
since what? Yeah, but
no. Go on.
so from what I've been able to describe, are you interested more for the action, or are you interested in Sam and Kalia's relationship? Uh,
Both. That's a strong both.
Sweet. Because I really like author, like to
I
be
really,
honest,
like I said, I
you know,
really want to purchase this book so badly. You pick, true, truth be told, dude, you pitched this so well. I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, dude, I'm ready to, dude. When we hit the 30-minute mark of this stream, I was like, man, I'm ready to just end this stream and just just say like, look, man, give me time. I'm gonna buy your book. Give me time. I'm gonna buy your
this is
book.
yeah, this is
Just
good
find a
because
good time to
admittedly,
find a good time to start purchasing some stuff from indie creators.
yes, I cannot wait for you to get your
But
copy.
go ahead.
The like biggest fear, like the whole the whole biggest fear me as a writer was writing the romantic aspect of it, because truth be told, I that's like one area I'm not good at, and it's like I mostly just got it from other points of fiction that I like from Outlaw Star and such. So I was like, oh man, will people even buy into
Hmm.
this? I had to go. I went for it anyway, and so far it looks like people are buying from it, even from the descriptions. Like that's why I asked you the question. Like just from description alone, what do you think of it?
Description alone, I think it's a good sale. I really do think it's a brilliant story that needed to be told.
Oh, the
And you,
Sam and Colin as a couple. That was the description
yeah,
part.
yeah,
Sweet.
that's a romance that needed to be told too. That's another thing that I've been trying to work on too is my romances in my
Hmm.
upcoming the stories I'm working on. And the only reason why I told you guys that 5 years should be a long period because my story has been worked on since 2009, and I would say that the development cycle didn't start really technically until this year. For now, it was just a hobby and mostly just a story that I'm just been just dicking around with mostly, for like a better term, until I start
I
getting
see.
serious with it and people start getting very interested in the characters. When every time I shared the characters with my friends and coworkers, it's like what is these guys about? Well, it's a story I'm writing, and so far like Bouncers Productions, I would say this, and you can call me you can say I'm cheating with this one, but I'm saying Bouncers Productions started as of this year when I started writing the first chapter, and I'm currently now on the fourth chapter. And
That's
even then,
good.
doing some I'm gonna do some revisions anyways, and some chapter rewrites and of course what do you call it, redrafting.
Right. As long
So
as you
that's
finish
happening.
it, get to the end, write
Yep,
it. That's all that matters.
exactly.
Okay, Dominic, while you're
So far,
still here, uh,
what? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with Dominic.
Dominic, while you're still here. So, from how I described Sam and Kaguya, are you going to buy in? Are you interested in the story, or are you interested in the story for other elements?
Heck yeah, I'm interested.
Oh, sweet. What's did the romance get you in, or is the action, or everything else?
No, all of the above.
Sweet. Okay, because you did ask me some questions. I'm curious. Cause like like Wolf wants to buy it immediately. Final Fantasy's interested. So far, what after all I've talked about, what is your summation?
Well, I will most certainly buy it, but it'll be most likely sometime in the future. Because right now I've been busy with a lot of stuff. So mostly it's college related. So and also I'm currently reading other books that I have in my bookshelf at the moment. But rest assured, I won't purchase your copy of Star Warden.
Sweet. Good. Excellent. That means
We're
I
all on
have
board,
done my job correctly.
Draco. We're all on board, man. We're all
Yes.
on board of purchasing this. And thank you for letting me know about this. Cause man, when I heard that's like, no, dude, we need to get you on here. Like, look, Ishi's having his days. So let's give him some space. Come over here so we can talk about this. We need to talk about this now.
Yes.
And
And I
the way how
thank
you
you
pitched,
for
the way I
bringing me on.
described everything, I'm like, oh my goodness, just glad just to have this moment to like before I go ahead and visit family for the holiday coming up next month. So I was like man, this was guys, this was totally off the cuff. This was definitely completely off the cuff. So it's but I had to help this guy out. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
like
thank
man,
you.
let's talk about this. Let's have somebody on here and talk about something they're writing that they got completed. Like you got this stuff completed and you're on the next book and you got an artist that's man you man. Let you
Yeah.
let Draco be the inspiration for all you guys who are still working on your projects and getting them off the ground. Let let him be the inspiration. He made it. He on the road.
I just do my best.
Potential is out the door now. He's already there. He's in the door right now. He ain't foot in the door. He's already past the door actually. So I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Those those 5 of you and those nonsense motherfuckers that keep coming around and out and all that. I'd like to thank DracoNightmare for being here and talking your story and man getting everybody excited about the story. got some really good showman and pitching skills that we should take a page from to learn. I think my other compadres for Final Fantasy Fan 12, The Warrior of Light.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure you ring that notification bell, that way you get notified of our latest videos. Go subscribe to Wolf10 Media if you haven't already. Go subscribe to me if you haven't already. Be sure to check out DracoNightmare's Star Warden, which is in the link in the description below this very video right now. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off, and remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
Dang, he's really good.
Yes, he is. For our late arrival partner, the Hound of the South, Donick Powell.
Thank you everybody for joining us in tonight's live stream. If you like what you heard, make sure you go on to Amazon and support Draco Knight with his book Star Warden. If you like what you hear, make sure you put it down in the comment section down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wolf 10 Media's channel. This is the Hound of South Dominic Powell signing off, and remember to never lose hope and optimism, and continue to shine the light in the world as things get dark.
So we'll come in at Wolf 10 and remind you guys once again that you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.